remember a moment when I was playing with Mal Waldron and Philly, Joe Jones, and myself, and I'm trying to think of the tenor player, or the alto player, escapes my mind. But we were playing at a place called the Hyatt on Sunset, which was a jazz club on Sunset Avenue in Los Angeles. And I remember we were playing the gig, and it was a hotel, the Hyatt House, Hyatt Hotel, and there was no stage. So we were playing on ground level. Of course, a lot of jazz fans were there to hear the music. And as Mal Waldron's playing the piano, and I'm playing bass here, Mal's facing me, an older woman comes up to the bandstand and just sits down next to Mal. She just sits there. And Mal didn't do a thing. He was concentrating. This man's mind was totally on the music. And I saw this happening because I was looking at Mal. And of course, it was a little distracting for me. But when the tune was over, Mal didn't move. He just sat there looking straight ahead. And the management came up and they took the woman away. I don't think Mal even knew that the woman was sitting next to him, you know. The crazy thing. You know, I think it was Todd Barkin that brought Mal Waldron and I together at the Keystone Corner in San Francisco to do, it might have been a New Year's gig, or it was a 3 or 4 day gig, and Mal and I were playing opposite Kenny Burrell, guitarist. I had my son Scott with me, and so Scotty was playing guitar at this time. He was about 12 or 13 years old, and while Mal and I were playing, Scotty would be backstage with Kenny Burrell, and Kenny would be showing Scotty different things on the guitar. But I met Mal at Keystone. We played duets, struck up a great relationship. We really enjoyed playing with each other. And later on, Eddie Moore joined us for some gigs. Great drummer from San Francisco. And after that, Mal started doing some quintet playing with Eddie Henderson on trumpet, Charlie Rouse on tenor sax, Billy Higgins, or Eddie Moore trading off on drums, Mal and myself. And Scotty would travel with us with his guitar. Scotty traveled with us a lot. And Charlie Rouse, bless him, would take Scotty under his wings and showed him musical things as we were traveling in the van. And he was really kind to Scott. You know, Scott loved the music, and Charlie really extended himself to Scott. There was a time when Eddie Moore and Mal and I had a gig in Calgary, Edmonton, as a trio. And we had driven in my Volkswagen van, and just about 10 miles before we got to Edmonton, the van broke down. So we called the tow truck, and the tow truck came to pick us up and hoisted the van. We were all ready to go into Edmonton, and there was only the front seat of the tow truck. So I was fairly small, and Mal was fairly small, but Eddie was pretty big. Eddie actually could take the space respectfully of the whole section that the three of us were to fit in. So the only way we could do it is Mal squeezed over towards the driver, then Eddie squeezed in. There wasn't really a place for me, but then I had to put my head down on the floor mat with my feet sticking up between Eddie and Mal. Now it was either Mal's head that went down or mine, but it was a very strange configuration, and we finally made it into Edmonton, and I forget how my van got fixed, but it did. But it was a kind of a humorous situation, you know. There were a lot of humorous situations with Mal and Eddie. I forget which town we were going to in Alberta, but it had a funny name. It was like a western town in the South, in the States. And when I told Mal and Eddie that we were going to play a gig there, they just stopped talking. They just kind of stared at me. And Mal said to me, he said, "David, you're with us. They're going to hang you right along with Eddie and myself." Oh boy. Mal was a great friend, and we made several recordings together, and I miss him.